You got the Dusty Cup later? Kick.
Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
Money.
Let's get to the
Money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scared money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
And here we go.
Yeah. Let's get it. Welcome to the Balking Dead, fellas, where there is no sleep for the wicked. It is Friday, and y'all know what that means. My boy Spin Doc joins me to talk the next best thing to God himself, and that's pitching props. How you doing, my guy? As I'm finally coming around to these unders.
You are. I know. I'm like, I felt like I finally had converted you yesterday when we're talking about Keller's under. I was on Keller's under. I played Kevin Gausman's under.
And I was like, yeah, I like him too, just not the juice.
I swear to God, I was expecting, I'm going to get whiff stats. I'm going to get this stat. I'm going to get that stat about why thinking about a Gausman under is insane, but I played it and I won. So it's good. It's good. It's good. And you, Sharpie, you're my witness. I just want everybody to know. What did I say that if I had bigger nuts, I would have given out? I played it myself. What did I say?
I said
piece
of shit right here. This piece
for
of shit.
Mr. Shohei Ohtani. Sharpie's my witness. I played it last night.
Everything that Spin gives out, he puts at least $100 on. I know that for a fact. He's not just giving out.
Why can't
picks.
I just give it out?
And when I did the lineups, I was sweating on the 7, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to play nothing else. I've got the alt parlay. So I knew the alt parlay was going to be a sweat, and I didn't have a chance once he cramped up and his vagine started hurting again. So, yeah. If that's what's going to happen right now to take away my sweep, I'll take it because I'm just thinking outside the box.
Yeah, I told my VIP, I'm like, look, here's the only reason why you don't play it. It's the fucking Mariners. That's the only reason. That's it. That's the only reason I can come up with. Like, there was no other reason. So I actually, and I told him too. I said, look, if the 8.5's hit, because people were like, what about 7.5? I said, look, here's my thought. If the 8.5 hits, the 7.5 is hitting too.
Yeah, he's either going off or not. And he was probably on his pace for 6 and maybe 7, man, even with that 5 inning. But don't matter.
But anyways, but the people listening don't care about that because I didn't give it to them. So
a lot of people are pissed off of Vaughn Ohtani because he's a vagina. But let's get to the 6 on the board today, guys. This show is sponsored by Dubby, a clean energy powder with no come down to your day. And by scanning the QR code on screen, you're going to get 10% off your first order by using the best promo code on God's green earth. Pub Sports, that is, fellas. On this show, we will talk the opening line on a K prop, also the best line available 30 minutes prior to this show. And then we will see where the value lies between the books and PrizePicks. Of course, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks as well. So if you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PubSports. Get a match deposit on your first deposit up to 100, minimum of 25. Shout out to the chat, guys. Smash that like button if you already have it. And make sure to hashtag WeBePubbing on your best bets, and I will read them out at the end. As the only one to drop off his best bet yesterday was Justin, who just fucking gave you a winner on the guy's first at bat. So, yeah, chat got some heat too, guys. So drop your best bets, and we shall get to them at the end as well, guys. So if your shit does cash, tag me on Twitter. Least I can do is give credit where it's due and promote the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. First guy on the board is number 35 in the black book, Hunter Brown at the Yankees, striking people out this year 27% of the time, while walking people 7.9% of the time. Opened them up on DraftKings 6+ minus 135, and that is where the best line is still available. PrizePicks has him at a 6, whereas pitching outs on PrizePicks are at a 16.5. Projected lineup is 7 righties, 2 lefties, where this game is probably not going off. I get it, guys, but since this show is Monday through Friday, if they don't get it in today, they will have a doubleheader tomorrow. And this is also the reason why we will not cover Nola and James Paxton today, as there is some good chances they just don't go. So I may do some live stream on my channel tomorrow morning, since it is a packed card, and we could probably get a stream in. So we will still talk of some Hunter Brown, as we won't touch on any other guy today that has rain involved. What you got on Hunter Brown?
All right. So Mr. Hunter Brown, I agree with you, is that I think there's probably a 50% chance or less that this game gets played. For me, I do want to see that if the game does go off, how many righties are in the lineup for the Yankees. Brown on the road Ks them at a 30% clip right now. Projected was 7. When you combine that with a pitcher's umpire in Tony Randazzo, he does have a slightly better than average strikeout rate, slightly less than average walk rate. And if they're going to load 7 righties, if and when this game does get played, I probably have to look at at the over here. But as of this morning, it was juiced at minus 140. It's not something that I'm horribly interested in playing. Might be something to parlay. My big thing here, though, is that Brown only has a 37th percentile chase rating. And, the Yankees are actually one of the more patient teams in the league. Their overall swing rate outside of the zone, 27.9% compared to a league average of 29. And their called strike rate is by far the highest in the majors, especially the last 21 days at 20%. Now, when I say called strike rate, that doesn't mean called strikeouts. That just means called strikes. What that means is, if you look at their take and swing rates, they're taking a ton of pitches. Their swing rate, total swing rate on all pitches, is only 44.8% compared to a league average of 47.9%. That's been the case all year. So they're going to see a lot of pitches, try to draw a lot of walks. The problem here is that on the road, Brown doesn't walk many, only 6.2%. So, for me, this is one where I have this is like the most okayest prop on the board for me, meaning like it's not like good, it's not bad, it's certainly not something that I want to pay high juice for. So if I'm looking this way, I am probably going to look at the over for small parlayed with something else. But otherwise, to be honest, this one doesn't really interest me that much.
Yeah, and this would interest me, and it actually might interest me more actually if I get the doubleheader. And now hear me out a little bit. Hunter Brown gets his first ever matchup with the Yankees, and it comes at 111 innings on the season. And I mentioned that because last year he threw a career high 126 innings. And the Astros, with McCullers going down and Javier not being Javier, are going to need this guy in their playoff run if they want a chance to repeat as a World Series champs, in my opinion. And by them signing Verlander, they now have another guy like Valdez that can go 6 to 9 innings every start, and at least one of them to go 7+ every week, if not both guys. And you could bank on that with having both of them in your starting lineup again. As it being only the beginning of August and about 40 to 50 more innings in this man's tank before they cut him off and sit him down, which they're not planning on sitting him down, guys. So they may skip a start here and there to save an inning, to save some innings. But I do expect this man to be dropped down to a 5-inning rate, guys, because if he goes 6 innings a game, he's going to be done in about 6 to 7 games, where if we stretched him out to 5 innings a game, where they do have an elite bullpen and they have 2 other guys to go deep on the other days, I just see it, guys. They can get 10 games in with that guy, and by skipping a start, that gets this man into a few playoff starts. So at the end of the day, I can no longer straight bet Hunter Brown. Now, if you give me that double header, they're going to need him to go 6 tomorrow. It might be the last day he does get to go 6, in my opinion. So I will be either alting him or looking at him to bet first 5s or sides and totals and other which ways to bet him, as his outs prop is also telling me something too. Like they know that cap's coming. It's just when, in my opinion. Anything else on Hunter Brown?
Nope. And thank you to Rocco in the chat. Yep, I just saw it too. Mine just updated for the official lineup, 7 righties. A lot of conflicting factors for this one. So unless you're alting him in some fashion, like I said, there's just with virtually every MLB team playing today and so many pitchers and so many options, there are much better options on the board than what basically amounts to a coin flip either way.
Yeah, and I mean, this is something we have both paid attention to for a long time now, is these innings limits, man. When you start to get towards that end of your towards your limit, man, these guys baby you. Hey, baby you. And when we talk about Luzardo later, it was nice to see that coach send Braxton Garrett out after 78 pitches. When I thought he was done, I'm like, okay, he's capped, he's done. And they still let him come back out. So that is a good sign, but that's from a different coach. And we'll talk about that when it comes. Now let's talk about the spot where I lost $2 on. Logan Allen versus the White Sox, number 62 in the black book, striking people out at a 23.1% clip on the year, while walking people 8.1% of the time. Opened them up 6+ -106 on BetMGM, where the best line available now is 5+ at a -155 on MGM, where a lot of books do have heavy plus money to the 5.5. Could have waited and made a couple dollars, actually, son of a bitch. But PrizePicks has them at a 5, whereas pitching outs under over are at a 17.5, which also tells me that I'm on the right side of buying back. And the projected lineup is 7 righties, 2 lefties. Let's talk Logan Allen and what screams books to me asking for under money.
They are begging for it, begging for it. And this is another one where there's too many conflicting factors for me. You obviously have the righty lefty splits. Allen only King lefties 13.3% at home. And while it's not the biggest sample size, it does meet my 40 plate appearance threshold to actually use in my capping. Only 7 strikeouts with this lineup and 44 plate appearances for a 15.9% strikeout rate. That's not great. But then you go on the other side, and what you look at is what I see is Allen has a very healthy first strike percentage, 65.1% for the year. Over the last 20 days, the White Sox are near last in the league with a 65.8% first strike percentage. The White Sox, when they go down 0-1 in the count, strike out over 30%, just over 30% of the time. That's especially true on the road. There's just, again, I go back to when I look at all the metrics that I use, and my spreadsheets are quite sizable, if there are just essentially an equal number of factors on both sides that say over or under, especially ones that I consider to be key indicators, ones that I've tracked that have a high degree of success. And first pitch strike is one of those, as is some of the history versus righties and lefties. I see 50-50 on both sides. So for me, this is probably going to be a pass as well. I know that I'm giving a really boring show so far, but I would rather save you guys money than to have you put your money in play in a disadvantaged situation.
Yeah, man, it's all about actually making the less bets, the better at the end of the day. The more we bet, the more opportunities these multi-billion-dollar books have at beating us. They're good at what they do, guys. Let's just be real. So Appreciate you, Ricky Bobby. I know free cash that bitch easy. We should have laddered that bitch, but I was of a JJ. But something about that minus 140 to minus 150 line on an over K prop when I like that guy, it's like fucking tits, bro. I don't know, bro. It's just something about you study the lines a lot and you're like, man, I don't lose often when we're at that minus 150 range, man. We got to just give me those ones. Yeah. And let's get into why I lost $2 on Logan Allen this morning. Logan Allen gets his 4th matchup of the year on all coming on back-to-backs versus these White Sox after last week going 6 innings, giving up 5 earned runs, while only striking out 4. And has never had more than 5 strikeouts in any of the first 3 games versus the White Sox, and was a 4.5 last week, and yet we get a 5.5. Something isn't right here, fellas. And this should not have ever been a 5.5. And it was a 5.5 for a whole long time. They had their arms wide open to that 5.5, as he was only hit this 5.5 20% of his last 10 games and 26% on the whole fucking year. Yeah, if this isn't a fucking trap, guys, then I don't know what is. As yes, I told Team Sharpie, if this line stays 5.5, because only FanDuel opened it at first, I said, oh, maybe we can pop FanDuel right here. If this line doesn't stay 5.5, we got to run, guys. We got to fucking run. And that's what happened. Every book put him in a 5. Money came in on the under, and I got back in, and I lost me $2 on a half unit bet. I got back in at plus 114. And it just is what it is, guys. I'm not going to head into something that the books are begging for. Now, I thought I would pop the book first, who opened them, but that's not the case. They kept him there for way too long. And this is like how I hit up Spin the other day. I was like, bro, Darvish is going to get 9, and nothing says he's going to get it. Everything says he's not going to, but he's going to get it. And that's what the fuck is going to happen with Logan Allen today, guys. I don't know how. I wish I could tell you how. I wish I could tell you I fucking know this, and that. I don't fucking know. He's getting 6, 7, 8 strikeouts today. I don't know fucking how. He's doing it. It is what it is, and I'm not trying to get involved with that, as I did lean the under, and I just don't want to bet it strictly on the books know something I don't know. And now I would like to go study that lineup like I did that Darvish lineup. And like I was telling Spin earlier, I was like, bro, I think I figured out some weird shit on Darvish, bro, but it might be the way to attack him. But this I'm going to have to try and figure out from afar, as if he goes out and racks up them Ks, so be it. If he hits the under, then I lost $2 and I was right, but I just have something in my stomach telling me to get off.
Yeah, if this were a random Monday or Thursday where there's like 4 games or 5 games and there's just a bunch of nobodies or bullpen days pitching, and this might have been one of the only regular starters going for the day. If you wanted to throw a half unit on the over for this one, I wouldn't blame you for doing it. But this again goes back to how many other spots are on this card. And I mean, and again, this is just K props. How many other K props or pitcher props are on this card? There's just so many. So there are so many other better places to spend your money or to spend your gambling dollars tonight. It's just not worth trying to figure out this puzzle.
Yep. We got almost 60 live and not even 30 likes. Do me a favor, guys. Smash that like button if you like what you're hearing, as we put in hours and hours of work just to get a like button hit. So, hit that like button while we talk us Black Jesus. Number 20 in the black book, Jesus Luzardo at the Texas Rangers, striking people out this year 28.5% of the time, while walking people 6.8% of the time. Opened them up on FanDuel, 7+ minus 128, to where the best line available to that 6.5 now is still on FanDuel, but lost 10 cents. It's now at a minus 118. Pitching outs under over are at a 17.5 on PrizePicks. Well, the projected lineup for your Rangers is, give me that fucking lineup. 6 righties and 3 lefties. What you got on this guy today?
I mean, if they're going to run 3 lefties, this is a pretty easy overplay for me, because I mean, whether it's home or road, it don't matter. I mean, shit, on the road, Luzardo strikes him out at 41.3% of the time. Luzardo's strength has been making guys chase. He's in the 81st percentile for that. He's in the 84th percentile for whiff. And I really hope that the Rangers employ a different strategy at the plate today. One of my L's yesterday was on Tuki Toussaint because they fucking just stood there and watched him throw strike 3 down the middle and wouldn't swing the bat. So I hope they have a little bit different strategy today. You would think so, because over the last 21 days, which matches up with the year, they're only at a 14.1% called strike rate compared to a league average of 16.1. They do have almost a 50% swing rate, which is above league average as well. So if they're going to go back to their normal approach at the plate, then I can and they want to run three lefties or more. Give me more. I can see Luzardo easily clearing this bar. So this is one where I have not made a final decision yet. I do want to wait on lineups. The other point here is that the Rangers against lefties over the last 21 days and 145 plate appearances, they are walking 13.1% of the time. However, when you go back and look at who they faced during that time, and that includes relievers, so that's everybody, they have faced some pretty high walk pitchers from the left side of the plate. So
Blake Snell.
What's that?
Blake Snell.
That would be one of them. Yep.
Fucking walked 4 of them.
500 people. Yep. And so Luzardo on the road only walking 7.4%. So I wouldn't put too much stock into that, because quality of opponent and the pitching mix of the opponent does play a factor. Luzardo's walk percentage is in the 72nd percentile. So unless we just get like a horrifically hitter slanted ump and the Rangers are just going to stand there again, I don't see walks being a problem. So give me 3+ lefties, and this is over all the way.
Yeah, man. I love me some over. This might I'm gonna have to take in your theory, maybe, man. We're gonna need a umpire that is favorable to Jesus for me to get in. You know, I'm thinking that might be the tiebreaker today. But
yeah.
Let's talk it out.
It's not out for that game yet.
I don't even have those type of tiebreakers, but damn, it's either over or nothing. And let me tell you why I think he's going over. And Black Jesus at the Rangers, guys, as I had to go back 30 days just to get 200 plate appearances versus lefties. And the numbers say, like he was saying, they're walking top of the food chain, striking out league average, while bottom 10 in isolated power. So the walking K percentage says no. But them not hitting as well also says he can be out there long enough to have plenty of opportunities to hit his over. No janky shit going on with his outs as they put him at 17.5. And if this man goes 6 innings versus 3 lefties in that lineup, there's just no way in fucking hell he doesn't get 7. So let's go see who they've seen in the last 30-day period. Blake Snell, he went 5 innings. He had 9 strikeouts while walking 4 that day. They popped Framer Valdez, guys, who didn't make it through 4 innings while only striking out 1. But that was also at a time where Framer got whopped 4 games in a row, all by teams he's seen twice, all by teams in his own division. So, went through a bad stretch. Shane McClanahan then went 6 innings with 6 strikeouts. He just gets a strikeout per inning. That's what he does. And that's who they seen that I would bet on, guys. That's it from the left-handed side. Now, I did see Patrick Corbin have himself 6 strikeouts in 7 innings as well. So it's definitely out there for Luzardo to get this over if the Rangers really even want to run 2, let alone 3 lefties. Then they will have to force my hand to this over, guys. But hear me out. I'm going to have to start alting him, or only go half unit. I can't go full, as I've been talking about this with every Marlins pitcher. And it's the reason they went and got more bullpen pieces to add to a already good bullpen. And that's every one of these pitchers besides Sandy Alcantara and Johnny Cueto have passed their innings pitched in a year. And that's with Luzardo, guys. He's already 25 innings past the most pitchers he's ever thrown in a fucking season. The babying is coming. Whether it be the start capping him at 5 innings, whether it be skipping him type starts, but they went and loaded up that bullpen for a reason. Yuri's due back this week as well. I see a lot of these guys in this rotation being put on 5-inning limits, guys. It was nice to see Braxton Garrett get put out, though, after that 5-inning 78. That's what gives me good feeling on, okay, they're going to let Luzardo go, but Braxton wasn't over his limit. Braxton was like still 20 under his limit. This guy's 25 innings over the most innings he's ever pitched in a year, guys. That 30 is right about the time they fucking cut you off. The babying's coming on Luzardo, so be very fucking careful, please. Just listen to me on that, guys. You're gonna start seeing guys getting yanked and their pitch counts being low and being like, why? Why? Their innings limit, bruh. These
And
guys care about next year and the year after. And the year after.
And that's especially true for teams that are in the playoff chase as well, because you're not just saving them for next year too. You're saving them for September and October potentially.
He's their number 2, bro. If they go to the playoffs, they need him to be there.
Gotta have him.
So I just think the babying's coming with this guy. Whether it be 5 innings, skip a start, 5 innings, skip a start to get him to the playoffs, you're gonna start seeing some strategy going on a lot with these Marlins. So right now I'm off. If they really want to load up lefties, then I'll alt him down. It'll be a good price at the 6 to get him down to 6. I think he gets 6, no problem. 7's going to be, oh, fuck, did the coach just fuck us? Did the coach really just do that? Because it's in the cards to happen is what I'm saying.
Well, especially with that manager.
Hey, but he showed me a sign by putting Braxton out.
That's
I
right,
capped Braxton. I said,
He
Braxton
did
ain't going past 80, bro. And then I knew, I was like, I'm fucking done. I'm going to lose by the hook. Again, great. Fuck you, Braxton. And they sent him out, and I still lost by the hook, but he had the opportunity, and that's all I can ask for. That's all I can ask for. So I've had, like you said, though, bad experiences with this coach. So I'll try to think of just recent past, but then, like I said, Garrett's not in the same situation as Luzardo.
Yep.
So Luzardo is on that 25 innings past he's ever pitched in his life, and they know that. So careful. Let's talk another guy that looks to be in just a wonderful spot, but looks sometimes can be deceiving with these projected fucking lineups. Number 44 in the black book, Merrill Kelly at the Twins, striking people out this year 25.3% of the time, while walking people 9.5% of the time. Morning line 7+ at +115 on DraftKings, and my high ass didn't get the best available line. PrizePicks has him at a 6, where it's allowed or under over at a 5 on PrizePicks, where the projected lineup for the Twins is 5 lefties, 4 righties. Is that one that has come out? I'm going to check that where you get to talk in your team and Merrill Kelly.
No, it's not official. Well, it's not official on Roto. It might be official somewhere else, but I mean, it's the Twins, so under probably wouldn't be an official look that I would make. That would be like me considering Ohtani's under last night against the Mariners, but of course that hit. So when I look at Kelly, I see a couple warning signs. I do see that he's only got a 20.9% road strikeout percentage. This is actually after, this year he's faced a few teams that you would expect him to get a little bit higher than that. That's especially true against left-handed batters, only 19.8%. So if the Twins go 5-4, I don't know. The other thing that Kelly does do is he's in an 89th percentile chase rating. The Twins have actually been surprisingly better. They've been surprisingly better over the last 20, 25, 30 days. They are below league average for the first time this season in chase rate. They're at 28.9% compared to a league average of 29. It's not much, but with this team and the rate that they chase shit and strike out, baby steps. First pitch strike, which is another key indicator that I use. The Twins have a very, very high first pitch strike percentage. That's usually because they're swinging aggressively and hacking. They're at 64.9%, which over the last 20 days is almost last in the majors. The problem here is that Kelly is only at a 58.8. When I look for overs on the road, I look for pitchers that can get a first pitch strike higher than 60%. And if I blend the pitcher and the batter numbers together, I look for 62.5, 63 or more. I don't get that here. So for me to get 6.5, I don't see it. I really don't see it. That said, I'm not paying heavy juice for a pitcher like Merrill Kelly under on the road. I don't care that it's against the Twins. If this was at Arizona and it was the over on the flip side, I would probably pay that all day. But I'm not paying that on the road.
I've got a bunch of conflicting theories that some say over, some say under. And it all has to do with the lineup on Merrill Kelly, guys. But before we do, my guy Spin just brought something up I forgot to bring up on Luzardo. He brought up first pitch strike. That's going to be the death of Luzardo tonight if he don't hit, guys. He's 1% below league average, and that's like, I think maybe we're going to need that umpire in this game today. But because one thing I picked up, guys, when I said I studied these lineups, why did these guys jump them up and get so many? What the fuck? Why did Darvish get 9 versus this Texas Ranger team? What do? They take first pitch better than anybody else in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's going to start 1-0 every fucking time, bro, that's going to be a long day on a guy who could be on a pitch count. So just something I did want to bring up that I forgot to mention, that can be the death of him today.
If anybody knows where Bill Miller is tonight, let me know, because I would love to have Bill Miller behind the plate in Texas tonight.
Yeah, we'll start 1-0. We'll start 0-1. 0-1. Hey, even give me Buckner, too. Fucking Buckner.
Give me Bill Miller. Give me Buckner. Give me any of those guys. Hell yes.
All right, so let me talk me some Merrill Kelly right quick at the Twins, guys. From afar, it looks like he's in a great spot. As if we look at their numbers over the last 15 days, they're walking league average, well, smashing the damn dog piss out of the baseball with a nice team isolated power of 186, while also leading the league in striking out 30% of the time. And we all know the one thing that stank with these Twins, and I'm talking their whiff, guys, as they have been the worst team in the league pretty much all year when it comes to whiff percentage, which is another spot in the past I have looked to run with Kelly. And as this year versus teams in the top 10 whiff percentage, he's 3-3 to the over 6.5, only averaging 6.8 strikeouts a game. Now, if we take out that one game that he was in the division that he faced the team in those numbers, he's now 3-2, and that average jumps up to 7.2 strikeouts a game, with never getting less than 6 in a game out of the division. So the 6 may actually be a great spot to alt him, if not take his over 6.5. Now, another issue, guys, is we got to talk about this man's home road splits, as this man is striking people out in an elite damn near 29% of the time at home, and it just falls off a cliff to 21% on the road. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not actually worried about that, as when I go look through those whiff percentage teams that he faced on the road, faced 2 teams on the road in the top 10 whiff percentage. He had 7 and 9 that day. All right, cool. So I'm not going to let these road splits actually get in the way of me betting Kelly if I want his over. So now I'm going to go look at a couple other things, and that's this projected lineup, as there's just a few guys that have seen Kelly in the past that are not in this projected lineup. In a combined 19 at-bats between those two that are not in the lineup so far that I do expect to be in, they have a whopping career strikeout percentage of just 15.8%. Taking the fact that the only other guy in this lineup to see Kelly more than 3 times is Joey Gallo, the strikeout machine Joey Gallo, has only 1 strikeout versus this guy in 9 plate appearances in the past. So we can have 3 guys in this lineup that will make this a bitch on the over. And I didn't even mention Julian, guys. That's one of the reasons why their numbers are turning around. That kid's a fucking monster, bro. He's earned his place on the Twins. So, yeah, let's get to it a little bit more. So, they are projecting 5 lefties, as his K per 9. He does struggle versus lefties, as it is an 8.5 K per 9 compared to a 10 K per 9 versus the right-handed side. And I do need to pay attention to that, as those 2 teams who had bad whiff that he faced on the road earlier this year, the team that ran out 6 righties like a jackass versus Kelly, and they whiffed, he had 9 that day. The team that had these 5 lefties, 4 righties, he got 7. So I'm actually looking at his under or his over, bro. I'm looking at either which way. It depends on how they want to run this lineup today. So it's just straight up, how is the lineup? Because those 2 other guys don't whiff. As in, Farmer and Solano's whiff is below league average quite nicely. So, yeah, give me the right lineup and I'll go under. Give me the right lineup and I'll go over. Or give me the good lineup with good whiff, without Farmer and Solano, and I'll alt his bitch ass down to 6, because that 6.5 may be a little harder than what these Twins numbers say they should be. Anything else?
Nope. I think that for me, the key for this one and why it's hard for me to seriously consider an over here is while Kelly's greatest strength and where he gets the majority of his strikeouts is when he gets guys to chase. His chase contact is below league average as well. And normally you would think that that's just tailor-made fit with the Twins. Not so much lately. Ever since some of those lineup changes, they have not gone fishing as much, and they are taking early pitches more often. That is probably not. That doesn't bode well for a guy like Kelly on the road.
Man, making me like this little under on Kelly a little more. Just give me fucking Farmer and Solano in that lineup, man.
I would be pimping the under if I hadn't watched this team every single game and just like I'm just so jaded to their ability to actually hit an under. I honestly wanted to take their under against Liberatore yesterday. And
me too.
Me too. And I'm like, it's the Twins. Fuck it.
3.5, it's the Twins is what I said. Yeah. And then he had fucking one. Fucking one, bro. And I was like,
and it won. So honestly, that was one of my springboards for Ohtani because I'm like, stop being a pussy and just bet it. And I did, and it paid.
Yeah. And then you told me, and I said, I don't fucking care. I'm bad. I didn't cash. That took my sweep away. Fucking bastards. But I'm glad you cashed. At least someone got some money because no one really bet that under unless you did it secretly. But no matter. It pays the fucking same. Pays the same. I actually thought you gave it out as like a half unit play.
No. Nope. I told VIP that I'm on this. It's unofficial.
If you want to get in, they were all on the over, like fuck you.
If you want to do as I do and not as I say, you can do that too. That's fine.
Hey, there are degenerates out there who get mad when we make bets and don't tell them.
And don't tell them.
Like,
yeah, no.
hey, if we bro, I made a 10-leg parlay. What do you mean you want to know I bet it? Well, I want to cash it too. Like, bro, kick rocks, man. I'm sorry. I won't ever celebrate a win again that I didn't give you.
Right.
But let's get into La Pareda Day. We've got a good matchup on both sides of this, and that's number 22 in the black book, Luis Castillo at the Angels, striking people out this year 28.3% of the time, while walking people 6.3% of the time. Opened them up for about a 30-minute period last night, over 6.5, minus 152 on FanDuel, where he then moved 2+ money, where morning he was 8+ at plus 115 to the best available line now to that 7.5 is on BetMGM at plus 110. PrizePicks has him at a flat 7, whereas hits allowed on PrizePicks under over flat 5. Projected lineup for your Halos tonight: 5 lefties, 4 righties. What you got on Castillo?
All right, so Mr. Castillo on the road. He's got some mixed splits here. He K'd 9 at the Twins, which that's not a big surprise. K'd 7 at the Diamondbacks. That was 3 at Houston, 3 at the Yankees, 6 against the Rangers, 10 against these same Angels, and back in early June. So, you look at the numbers and my God, the Angels, 27.6% K percentage versus righties over the last 20 days. Now, if you shorten that to 10, now, granted, the sample size gets smaller, but that percentage shrinks up pretty quick to about a mid-20s. Castillo against this projected lineup, 31.8% strikeout percentage and 66 plate appearances. And the other one that I look at is Castillo has an 89th percentile whiff rating for the season. Over the last 20 days, which matches up for the season, is the Angels are 30th in swinging strike percentage. So like I'm quoting all these stats here, and you might think, well, Spin, why haven't you bet the over yet? I haven't, and I don't know if I'm going to. There are way too many mixed results on this, and I know that it's not like what I call a proximity rematch, which is where a pitcher sees a guy within the same 2 to 3 week time frame. But they have seen him this year. Angels have actually been pretty decent against guys second, third time around. Their overall swing metrics, if you shorten that again from 20 days to about 10-ish, it's actually a lot better. So, Sharpie, tell me, why have I not bet this over yet, and why do I want to, but I don't?
Because I think the first thing I told you is I think I want Castillo's under today.
No. I was thinking that before you told me, and then I'm like, well, fuck, I can't do it now.
Let's get into it, guys. And it's crazy. I'm having all types of fucking flashes now that I'm getting into these unders, and this one's back and forth, guys. This is simple. It's what's gonna happen with La Pareda. They versus the Angels for the third time this year. And when the first came in the first week of the season, so we had no numbers to go by, he went 5.2 innings with 6 strikeouts. Second time came on June 9th, and we were on him, and the lineup numbers were not terrible. They were walking elite above 11%, smashing the ball with the team isolated power in the 200s, and they were only striking out 24% of the time. I say only because that's actually pretty good for the Angels. Now, this is where it says it can go over. Their projected lineup is now striking out near 26% of the time. So this will be the highest K percentage of the Angels that Castillo has seen. And we know that Castillo has the key that I use to run K props versus these Angels, as I just strictly look for guys who have elite strikeout and walk percentages next to their names. And I don't care what the Angels number said at the time. I would play it blindly and they would cash. So what's the issue here, guys? As I get it if you're on the 6.5, if you were there and you grabbed it when it was out, good for you. I get it. Cool. But that 7.5, guys, falls under that freaking Sharpie 316 Rule 34 as that's chasing. And I just ain't chasing. I don't give a damn who it is and in what opinion, guys, as he's only hit that over 30% of his last 10 games. So if I was to play him, I would have to alt him down, as I just don't chase. Now, when we go through the last 20 games, guys, and we look at Castillo versus teams who whiff, and we know the Angels whiff now. They're right next to the Twins, guys. They're in that top 5. So let's go look at the top 6 teams in whiff percentage in Castillo's last 20 games. He is 5-1 to the over, 7.5 where they have him now, averaging 8.3 strikeouts a game. Everything I'm saying says over, and this is why I probably won't bet the under, because it's like, dude, this is just 2 different ways this can go. But let's talk about it, guys. And yeah, this lineup I am going to have to wait for, guys, because if you look at the K percentage versus this man, there are a few guys who just don't strike out. Granted, Ohtani and Renfigo both have had at least 10 at bats, only struck out once. And the way they've been running that lineup, that's your 1 and 2 hitter. So it's going to be tough getting those first 2 guys to strike out. Now, we know the rest of their lineup is the way to attack it, guys, as even the guys they did add in, Grichuk, Moustakas, and who else? And even Crone, they're all 2.5 to 6% worse than league average in whiff percentage. Now, give me that lineup and I'll go over. The fucking problem is I don't think we get that lineup, as I think we get Escobar in there. I think we get a couple other guys like Ohtani, like Renfigo, who've seen this guy and don't strike out. So even with Escobar at the bottom of the lineup, that's going to roll right over to the top, guys, to where it's just going to be real hard to get these strikeouts when you have to get them all in the middle of the fucking line. This is like the Wheeler spot. If you really want to get in, and they run Renfigo, Ohtani, first 1-2 like they have been, just wait till the second inning and get in live. Because he's probably not going to have more than 1, if none. And you're going to get a better number, or if not the same number. Yep. So I would just say let it go until the lineups come out. As if Escobar, Ohtani, and Renfigo are in there, it's going to be a little harder than what everybody thinks it's going to be today. So at the moment, I have to let it go till lineups come out. It's just a lot of these projected lineups don't take in what the managers see, and that's like what we're looking at, these batter versus hitter stats. Like, how do you not put in a guy who doesn't fucking struggle versus man? So is what it is. Life's a bitch and you marry one, and we get into a guy that should dominate. Reed Detmers versus Castillo's team, the Mariners, who just may be one of the worst teams to pick on. My favorite team to pick on, I guess. Number 46 in the black book. He's striking people out this year 29.3% of the time, while walking people 9% of the time. Opened up 7 plus minus 136 on FanDuel for about 30 minutes as well. And he was at plus 120 to that 7.5 this morning. PrizePicks has him at a 7, whereas pitching outs under over are at a 17.5 projected lineup for your Mariners is 8 lefty. I mean, I wish it was 8 lefties. I'd fucking fade this guy. 8 righties and 1 lefty. I was just checking out what his freaking number was right now. And there is some 6.5 minus 155s popping back up. I was like, nah. But yeah, let's talk with some Reed Detmers.
All right. So, Mr. Detmers, you have a Mariners team that now, granted, it's only in 108 plate appearances, but over the last 20 days is striking out 2 lefties at a 30.6% clip. The other thing that they have is they have the highest difference or variance between their strikeout and walk rate during that same period of time. So they have a 21.3% difference between their strikeout and their walk rate. By comparison, the Blue Jays difference is 3.5%. And the Dodgers is 7.8, and the Guardians is 8.5. You see where I'm going with this. That is just horrific. I honestly believe that in this series, they probably used up their one game where they're going to be rather disciplined last night. So Detmers has the exact pitch mix that this team struggles with. He does have a 73rd percentile whiff rating. The Mariners over the last 20 some days or so, they are, their overall chase rating is 32.9%. Their swinging strike rate, their called strike rate, everything says over on this one. This is one where I'm going to see the line movement just a little bit more, but it's going to be really hard to keep me off this over, regardless of what the number is, 6.5 or 7.5. And because, you think about it last night, Shohei was, cramping or whatever the fuck was wrong with him. But he still had 1K per inning against this team. The bullpen then went on to pitch 5 innings. So 5 innings from the bullpen, and they ended up having 9 strikeouts. So 9 strikeouts in 5 innings. That would be a team regressing back to the mean. The Mariners usually get 1 game like this per series where they're a little more disciplined than others. And then, I watch them a lot because I'm on them a lot for overs. So it's going to be really hard to keep me off this over.
Yeah, me too at the end of the day. But let's talk about Reed Detmers. He gets the Mariners for his second time this season, where he opened the year versus them, going 4.2 innings, striking out 7 on 89 pitches. And now when we look at the Mariners numbers versus lefties, I like to go 200 plate appearances. And I had to go back 30 days, and I only had 150. So, yeah, they've been asked, to say the least. As you can see why the 6.5 did move to a 7.5. As I really don't see why people would be betting the under, other than the books just want some over money, because I don't see people running to the window to bet the first ever 7.5 they dropped on Detmers this year. It was probably for a reason, guys. I think they fucked up by putting it at 6.5, and it's not chasing by moving to a 7.5. If this guy was Blake Snell, this is 7.5 minus 140, maybe even 8.5, guys. They just don't respect Reed Detmers right now. At the end of the day, they just don't respect him. So I will let them know I will respect them. Now, the issue with me is, and why I do want to see the lineups, is lefties, bro. Another fucking guy like JP Sears? What is wrong with me, bro? I didn't know there were that many out there. This guy can't fucking strike out lefties, and he's a lefty pitcher. And this is career-wise. This isn't just this year. This is like a career K per 9 of 7.5 versus lefties, bro. Go get the fuck out of here, bro.
22.7% K percentage against lefties at home. Ugh.
You're a lefty powered pitcher, bro. Get the fuck out of here. And it shows by the only lefty in this lineup being JP Crawford normally that they've run versus a lefty. He's only had 2 strikeouts and 10 at-bats for this man, and he's going to be the leadoff hitter. And the new kid that they just traded from the D-backs. I went and looked at this guy's minor league stats because I'm like, oh, bro, this guy doesn't strike out in his minimal plate appearances in the pros. Whoop-de-doo. Kid didn't strike out in the fucking minors either, guys. This guy is a contact fucking hitter. And I wouldn't be surprised for them to let this guy to go see what they got in him on a lefty-lefty. They need to see what they got in this kid. So the more lefties, the worse for Reed Detmers, guys. Yeah, the worse for what I'm looking to run on Reed Detmers. So at the end of the day, I want these lineups. I just want to see JP Crawford in there, and I will get in on that 7.5, probably a +1. I don't need to pay juice right now, but I'm saying that out loud.
Yep.
And I said that -150s are my money hit. So
Yeah.
you come down 5 more cents and give me one lefty. I'm paying the juice. Fuck the bullshit. I'm
Yeah.
paying the juice.
Yeah. And my take on that too is I think it's very, very similar to the take that I had on Ohtani last night when my VIP guys were asking me, is the 7, well, I know you got 8.5, but I can only get 7.5. I said, look, either they're both hitting or neither one of them are. I think it's the exact same scenario tonight. If Detmers is getting 7, he's getting 8+. There's not a lot of in between.
One lefty, bro. I think he's in the latter spot today, bro. I think this guy can get 9, 10, 11.
Easily.
We've seen him get 12 versus the Twins, bro. If
Easily.
this guy's on and the Mariners are the Mariners, he has 12. So I think he is in an actually good ladder spot where I think it's the books want you to play the under on Logan Allen to where I'm not going to do it. But if I was, I'd ladder fucking Logan Allen over because somehow disgusting way I think he's going to hit. That's just the thing, guys, but things don't pay the bills. You want to talk any other pitchers on the board before we run it through?
No, because Nola and Paxton probably aren't going to go. Those are my other ones.
Yeah, those are the ones I was looking at, but I didn't even break them down. I was like, you know what? They're not going.
Yeah.
I thought about doing a show tomorrow on my channel strictly because I was like, dude, there'll be so many. I got to do the work already. Might as well do it. But
not necessarily pitchers, but when I look at advanced metrics and swing metrics, the thing that I always look for, and people that follow me, this, I always look for correlative metrics. So like, it's really easy to throw out a stat and just be like, this team is a 37% K percentage. Okay, but what does that mean? Who is it against? Why do they have that? What goes into that? Are they really that bad, or was it a bad, so on and so forth. So there's a few correlative metrics that just for you guys to use for your capping that I have. When it comes to whiff rating, I already mentioned Castillo in the upper range, 2 in the lower range. You have Ashcraft for the Reds is in the 20th percentile for whiff or swing and miss rate. And the Nationals have the 3rd lowest swinging strike rate in Major League Baseball over the last 20 days, and I believe they're 2nd overall for the year. You also have Mike Clevenger of the White Sox out in Cleveland. I mean, this should come as no surprise. Clevenger is a 29th percentile whiff rating. The Guardians are 4th in lowest swinging strike rate. And then just 2 on the chase side of things. Guys that don't get hitters to go fishing is Dean Kramer is in the 10th percentile for chase rating. The Mets are 4th best. And this is even after the trade deadline, 4th best in not chasing. So, and then out in, I'm actually surprised we didn't talk about this one. Maybe we can now. Mr. Darvish, 19th percentile chase rating. Dodgers 2nd lowest chase rating in the major leagues. So
with Darvish, I want to see the lineup as there's so much past history involved there that it's like, come on, bro, you got to see who they're going to run out. And I found the key with him, and it's a key that no one would ever want to believe in because he got 9 versus the Rangers, and I wouldn't believe it. But I had to search why he'd get 9. And I want a team who takes first pitches. That's it. That's all. That's the only reason why I seen this guy get 9, guys. If you're going to take a first pitch versus a fucking octopus who's got like 8 to 15 more to throw after he gets a strike, you're fucked. You're fucked. So, give me a team who takes first pitches it's just lineup has to be for him. My question to you is, man, I'm liking Bobby Miller for some reason. I haven't pulled the trigger. It's just over. It's just, man, the Padres can hit a fastball sometimes, but there's some guys in there like Tatis. They whiff like 30% on a fastball. Like,
they do.
It's there. It's there if this guy can fucking just pump it and not be dead dick down the plate. And listening to Bobby Miller, I was watching the game the other day, and they had him on the speakerphone through an inning, and he's just talking. It's nice that everyone has faith in me and this and that, and I haven't even pitched well yet. So the kid hasn't even, he knows he's got a lot to still step up. He's been terrible 2nd and 3rd time through the orders. And we're gonna need this guy in the fucking playoffs. So they're giving this guy the rope to hang himself with right now. So
yeah, I like that take too, because Miller does have a 65.3% first strike percentage overall this starts. The Padres do take a lot of pitches. They take a lot of first pitches, like a ton. 18.8% called strike rate, which is, well above average of 16.1. This is this has been par for the course for them for the year. Not afraid to go down 0-1, not afraid to go down 1-2 and hit with 2 strikes. So when you have a pitcher that throws a lot of first pitch strikes and you have a team that takes a lot of pitches, you can put yourself, it doesn't really matter if it's, some random average MLB hitter or Juan Soto or anybody like that, is that you go down 0-1 versus 1-0, and your chances of striking out or getting out go up exponentially. Doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what pitcher you're facing. Going down 0-1 is a big deal when you're at the plate with major league hitters and major league pitchers.
man, do you see the bottom 3 in that lineup of the Padres, bro? G-Man, Choi projected, Gary Sanchez, and Grisham. That's like 3 to 6.
Right there.
Like right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, bro, just go 2 times through the lineup, kid.
Yep.
Fuck.
And
definitely
Miller's,
something I'm looking at. I just haven't pulled the trigger.
Yeah. Miller's innings prop is about 5.5, which is right about what he's been averaging. So
yeah, because it's like, dude, does he go 3rd time through the lineup? It's like literally he has a 2 ERA through the first time, 4.5 second time, and a 9 in the 3rd time. It's like, bro, but it's like he misses down the middle of the plate. I don't care if you throw 100, bro. These are major league hitters. You gotta hit your spots.
Yep, agreed. So, other than that, nope. We covered a ton of them just now.
Yeah, that we did. No, I talked about the only other 2 I was actually looking at. Yeah. I got a heavy lean on Miller right now, and I watch people bet it under, and it's getting to that 4.5 juice to the point to where it's like, okay, okay, you want some over money? You put those fuckers in the lineup, at least at the bottom. And I'm not afraid of Tatis. He's going to strike out once. He might hit a home run. That's fine. That's baseball. You get me, I get you. Fair and square. Just let me get you first. All right, guys. There is no reason to hit a recap, guys, as the lineups were just out for all the players I'm looking at, as a lot of them could go over unders, as I am enjoying this under shit, as I knew the Mitch Keller one wasn't going to be easy. I told that to my boy Trassis, bro. It's going to be like a hook play. This ain't going to be a fucking dead under, bro. It's going to be come by the hook. And 4 innings, 2 strikeouts, I felt great. And I didn't feel great after 5. So
I'm bringing you over to the dark side.
It's a different roller coaster.
The underside.
It's a little more funner, bro. I think, bro. I it's more relieving when they don't get the strikeout, because it's harder to get the strikeout.
Yeah, it's fun.
Just harder.
Hey, I told you. I was actually texting you when I bet my first under, like K-prop under, was like almost 4 or 5 years ago now. And it was Mike Fultonevich out in Colorado at Coors. And you're like fucking unders. And I'm like, I'm telling you. And I've been in love with them ever since.
Yeah, bro, I'm starting to fall that way. I mean, it's either you're dead or you've got a shot the whole time. I mean, killed me well. I've actually seen ones, bro, like you were on Kopech that one time. Strikes out the side, starts the game, doesn't end with more than 4. I would quit watching the game after that, bro. I'd be so mad. I'd be so fucking mad that I'd celebrate to hydrate.
I had a couple people in my VIP that send me like the vomit emoji on Twitter, and they're like, "Fuck, I'm turning this off." I'm like, I wouldn't do that. Like, just trust the process. And then the same person DMs me like about an hour, like half an hour later. He's like, "Oh fuck, I turned it back on. It's a sweat." I'm like, I told you. But anyways.
Well, appreciate you for showing up. Always a pleasure, bro. Talking baseball.
Thanks for having me.
You. Tell these people where to find you and what you got going on.
Yeah, at Spin Doc Sports. I should have a public player 2 tonight. Follow me on there, and I give out free plays every Monday as well when I'm on with Jose. But at Spin Doc Sports, find me there. And also for anybody for anybody, just to give you a sneak preview. So for as much as research and as heavy as I play K props, I do play high dollar value, like a lot of them. Fantasy football, even more. And so I think I'm in 5 leagues this year, and with pots with prizes in the multiple upwards of 10,000. So I put even more work into fantasy football. If anybody has any questions, any draft questions, anything, I follow every team all through training camp. Like I said, for as much work as I put into K props, honestly, I probably put in more on fantasy football. That's been my passion. I've been playing high dollar leagues and competitive leagues for, almost 20 years now. So
I think that's how we all got into freaking props, bro.
No, I
We
got
didn't
into
have
it.
props. We all had to start off with the team, drafting
Yep.
the freaking minor league players, sitting
Yeah.
on them and doing this, doing
Yeah.
that. And then they said, hey, you want to bet one guy? Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
That's-
I'd
that's
love to
funny.
bet just one guy.
Well, what's funny is, like, I get asked to join leagues every year, and people are like, it's a snake redraft league, and for $50, I'm like, I can't do that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can help people with theirs, but people would like, it's just obscene how much I pay in fantasy football entry fees every year.
Yeah, if it's not I can't I used to do the $1,000 ones and play 3 at a time, and I'd hit 2 out of 3 every year and walk away with 30 grand. Cool.
Yep.
Let's have a day. But that's how we all started playing. I mean, there wasn't DraftKings back in the day, guys. There was none of that. We had to play fantasy all the time. So we know you play fantasy with your boys. I can't do it either, bro. I just fucking can't. It's just not for me, bro. I don't set those lineups. It's $50. It's like, huh? $100? What? Bro, I lose $100 in my sleep.
So I'm going to be probably in the next few weeks or so. I do this every year for my VIP. I'm going to do a few free ones this year. It's going to be hosting some spaces. One is going to be about general fantasy draft approach for snake or auction. And then the other ones, I do a division breakdown about guys to target, guys to avoid, all that stuff for each team, all 32 NFL or every NFL team. So I'm probably going to, I think I'm going to do one for sure, probably 2 division previews on spaces for free this year. So tune into that too.
We also have a Pub Sports Radio, guys. The good, the bad, and the money prop show every motherfucking Friday, hosted by yours truly. And we've got a lot of special guests coming this year. So we got to get you on there too. Fuck, bro. Jesus.
Bring me on. I'm in.
It is on a Friday, but we just going to have to back-to-back you, bro. So, yeah. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Smash that like button if you haven't. And if you haven't listened to Big Show Picks, a.k.a. Tanner Bozer, MMA Locker Room, and Billy Brizz's podcast this week on the UFC stream, on the UFC fights going on, you might want to go do it. There's a lot of good fights, a lot of good money to be made. And, we have a fucking $200. Well, it's not 200. As many entries we can get in is as many dollars as the boss man's willing to pay to the winner. There's only like 50 fucking winners in a free $100 to $200 contest. Like, what the fuck? Y'all don't like free money? Your 18-year-old son don't like free money? Your wife don't like free money? The more people in your fucking house, the more opportunities you got to win free fucking money. So we're going to end this fucking show with a commercial, guys. Just fucking go over to Pub Sports, link, sign up for the free MMA fight. Pick left, right, left, right, left, right. You might fucking win some fucking free money. Who don't like free money? This show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PubSports. You're going to get a match deposit of $100, up minimum of $25 on your first deposit. Until next time, guys, I'm Sharpie's Bets. Our special guest today was Spin Doc Sports, and this show is produced by Big Show Picks and on Pub Sports Radio. Some say we be pubbing. I say unders we be.
Keep firing, assholes!
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing